What is up, Chiefs Kingdom? Feel pretty fucking dumb after that game last week. I thought it was going to be like
the same straight face, the same.
I thought it was going to be like 45-38.
Yeah.
Was I wrong?
Yeah, that was weird. Two subpar defenses turned into top 5 defenses overnight.
Hold on, I'm just making sure we get our peeps in here. Give me a second.
We got to get our peeps in. Not like we're live or anything. Not like people are watching this. Watching you just look down at your phone while I panic trying to keep them engaged.
What the heck?
Oh, good Lord, Jared.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I lost you for a minute. Okay, so we've got a lot to break down this week. Let's just start with the mess that was week 1. I mean, it's really hard to take a lot from that. We lost by 1 point. Nobody could catch the ball. It doesn't look like there's any huge fundamental issues with the team other than catching the ball. The defense looked awesome. We haven't seen a Spags defense look that good in week 1. They played bend but don't break, and there's just not a lot. Kelsey didn't play. Jones didn't play. If either of them plays, I think we win. Just knowing that it's a 1-point game. I got some stuff I want to say about the run game, but I'll let you kind of give your thoughts of what you kind of took away.
Yeah, I mean, aside from it, being a loss, which obviously sucks, but I mean, I'm almost more hopeful after that game because the worry, since Mahomes has been there is the defense. I'm not worried about the offense. They'll figure it out. Kelsey will come back. The receivers won't catch or won't drop every other pass that's thrown to them. I think a lot of it was they were all like, oh, crap, Kelsey's not here. We got to step up. And so it kind of got to them. And I mean, not only was it drops, the one drop happened to fall right into the hands of the Lions who returned it for a touchdown. And then the last drop, I mean, if he catches that and goes down, we're pretty much in field goal range to win the game.
Or if Sky catches the next one.
Right. I mean, not only was it drops, it was situational drops, but I think it was more they weren't game planning for obviously not having Travis Kelsey is a huge loss. They didn't game plan for that. They had 2 days on the fly to figure it out. But I think the big takeaway was the defense. I mean, the Lions were
they gave up 14 points
top
to a
five
top 5
offense. Yep. Yeah. I mean, the D-line looked good. The secondary, had their lapses, but Amon-Ra St. Brown is a stud. I mean, he's quickly turning into one of those, it almost doesn't matter who you put out there on him. He's going to catch it.
And when they get Jameson Williams, they're going to be – the Lions they have a chance to be the best team in the NFC. It's very possible.
I until I see it, I'm definitely not putting them over the Eagles just because Hurts over Goff, really. But I mean, they're top to bottom. I mean, good running backs. Goff is solid. Great offensive line. Good weapons. The defense. I don't think they're actually that good. I think it was more of us. We scored 20 points. If we don't drop 4 or 5 passes, we have, at least 27, 30 points. So
if a pick six doesn't happen,
right,
it's a 17-4. It could be a 17-14 game. You just don't know. We're not here to play that. I mean, we lost. It sucks. Before we go on and look at other things, I just want to state my 2 big complaints for the game. Stop trying to make Clyde a thing. He's not. It's never going to happen. I don't get it at this point. I don't get it. At any job, if you have someone who just always fumble, like not fumble, but just somebody who's always fucking up all the time. You put that person on a performance plan, which Clyde was on last year with very limited opportunities. And then if they don't perform again, they get fired. And that's what this Lions game was to me. I'm just done. I don't understand. He doesn't bring any pop. He doesn't bring any juice. His vision is terrible. I don't understand. It's whatever. He had some receiving touchdowns at the beginning of the year last year. I don't know if that's what they're holding on to. And then my next thought is also, why can we not get a yard on 3rd and 1? We just can't.
They keep giving the
ball,
gosh darned ball to Blake Bell. I've said it once. I've said it a bazillion times. Get him off the field.
We've talked about this since our first podcast.
I don't care. I could have ran that route and caught that touchdown. The man should not be on the field when it's anything, any down, and any distance under 2 yards. If we can't pick up 1 yard with the best interior offensive line and a running back who will literally just lower his shoulder and run into whatever is in front of him, then more power.
The problem, though, is it's a lot like Sorensen. Bell caught a touchdown.
He was wide open.
So he's going to be on the field.
I know.
He's going to be on the field.
I mean, you could have put Dustin Colquitt out there and say, hey, run this route. And he would have caught it because he was wide open.
Yeah. So that's, you would think, these people make millions of dollars. You would think that they could see some of this stuff. And maybe this was just a trial run with Clyde. Maybe Pacheco's still a little banged up.
I think
I think Pacheco might still be a little banged up, maybe not 100% yet.
Or a mixture of both. Pacheco not being 100%, and, maybe we can show off Clyde. Somebody lose. The Ravens just lost J.K. Dobbins. Some team loses their running back, and instead of picking up one of these old free agents, they, send a 5th-round pick to take a shot on a guy who's still on his rookie contract.
Yeah. And we all know Clyde is, after he's a free agent, he's going to go sign to the Bengals for nothing. It's going to happen. I've already accepted it. And watch him go take Joe Mixon's job and become an all-pro or whatever the hell. We'll see what happens. But, it's just a bad week 1. I'm ready to move on from this game. We all saw it. It was 4 days ago now. I think everybody's kind of over it and kind of looking to the Jags. So let's go ahead and talk about the state of the AFC.
It's broken.
I was just going to say, so how do you feel after how do you feel about the Chiefs' loss after week 1?
I feel a lot better sitting here talking to you right now than I did, about Sunday at noon. Because the 2 threats that we've been dealing with the past 2 or 3 years both lost 2. The Dolphins obviously are a threat if Tua stays healthy. They won. The Browns, obviously, who knows with that. But that's really it. I'm not worried about the Raiders. Was that the Ravens? The Ravens, obviously, they can do something. But Bengals, Bills, I mean, for them to both lose, I mean, they had to be sitting there licking their chops. Like, oh yeah, Chiefs lost. Yep. We can get a game up on them, and they blew it. I mean, the Bills blew it against a team, granted an elite defense, but lost their quarterback and had to play with probably the worst backup quarterback in the league. The Bengals, yes, bad weather, but it was bad weather for both teams. And they went out and laid an egg. Joe Burrow was 92 passing yards.
82.
82. T. Higgins didn't catch a pass. I mean, it was
Tony actually had more yards week 1 than Higgins
Yeah.
did.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I wanted to talk about too was, but I'm going to kind of relay this into this week a little bit too. So, and remember what I said about the fundamental issues and stuff. There is no reason the Bengals should have looked that bad. There's none. And part of it is I think the league is starting to figure out, yeah, Joe, cool, he's cool under pressure. No, he's not. When he is under pressure and he's getting hit and getting sacked, he's not cool under pressure. He doesn't show it on his face, but he's not. He curls up and goes down.
Right.
When in some of those situations, you have guys like Mahomes and Josh Allen who will just break out and start running. I would be a lot more worried if I was a Bengals fan than any of them right now. Now, with the Bills, Josh Allen is regressing. But what exactly are their expectations? I mean, are their expectations to win a Super Bowl this year? They might say that, but I don't know if it is. I
mean, they're 2 years removed from an AFC championship.
But the state of the team is just they have no run game. Offensive line looks worse. They have no defensive line. Their linebacker, they lost Edmonds, probably their best player on defense. The Bills have some serious problems, and even without Aaron Rodgers being in that division, I still think that they could have some issues winning that division.
Yeah, their defense is going to have to step up because Josh Allen just
and I don't know if they can.
Dumb mistakes. The fumble, whatever. It was bobbled the snap, then tried to run and panicked and just lost it. So be it. 3 interceptions.
Yeah.
2 of which were just, I got out of the pocket and I'm just going to plant and throw it as far as I can. Granted, 1 was 3rd and 8, and so they would have punted anyway, and they intercepted it like the 3-yard line. Fine. You still had 2 others. I mean, he led the league in turnovers last year.
He also had a fumble, another fumble that got called back too. I don't know if you remember that.
He's off to a great start at repeating as the turnover leader.
Yeah, he's it's something I've kind of banged the drum on for a couple years now. He's actually averaging 1.9. So before Sunday or Monday, whatever the hell, he was averaging 1.9 turnovers per game on his career. So I'm pretty sure he just elapsed 2 turnovers a game. And he's in his prime. He's 26, 27 years old, and he's going down. He's regressing. Their team isn't happy. Diggs isn't happy. They have no run game at all. So.
And Josh is kind of that guy, a Stafford. I won't say he's quite a Jameis Winston, but he'll put up big numbers, but he's going to have some turnovers. And, he can obviously run the ball. But, you face good teams and they'll take advantage of turnovers. The Jets couldn't because they had Zach freaking Wilson out there, but they did it enough.
I think that my biggest takeaway with the Bills is he had the number 1 defense 2 years ago, and he had the number 2 defense, and they couldn't get it done. If they're a top 15 defense, or if they're number 12, they have no chance of winning in the playoffs.
They didn't change anything. I mean, they substituted Devin Singletary for Damian Harris, which at best is like a slight upgrade.
They didn't change anything, and they lost their slot receiver on offense.
Right. And last year you were talking about how they, had these top defenses and couldn't get it done. They didn't just not get it done in the playoffs. They got embarrassed in their field, on their field, and in their conditions. I mean, they're used to playing in snow. Not used to it, but they do it a lot more than most other teams. And they got embarrassed.
Yeah. So where I was going to try to kind of lead this to was there's a team that can take a huge step I have said for a little while now, I think that the Jags could be the 1 seed just because they play in such a horrible division. Granted, they were in trouble against a rookie quarterback week 1, but if they get the Chiefs here and they're playing a horrible division, they might sweep the AFC West. Just looking at how Chargers defense is horrible. Raiders look horrible. Denver looks like they might be as bad as last year. It's week 1 overreactions, but you can see some stuff in week 1. You can see enough to kind of be able to have a little bit of a takeaway on what to expect. If the Jags get the Chiefs here, that could be a huge that could be like the year the Titans got the 1 seed and everybody was like, how the hell did they get the 1 seed?
Because Derrick Henry took the other 52 players on the team and put them on his back. But yeah, I mean, you go 6-0. They could easily go 6-0 in the AFC South. Maybe they lose one, fluke one in.
They'll drop a bad game, yeah. Everybody will lose.
And then even if they split with the AFC West, they lose to say us and the Chargers. Chargers, offense is clicking that day, whatever. That's 8-2. And you just got to win 4 or 5 more games, and you're competing for a 1 seed. Especially now that the top 3 teams going into the season are starting a game behind.
Yeah,
and play way tougher schedules. We all have to play each other.
Did I just mess up tremendously? They play the whole AFC West, right? Or is that just the first place thing?
I don't know. I just went with it. It might just be a first place thing.
Okay, either way. So that makes their whole schedule, if they don't play the AFC West, even easier. Unless they play the AFC North. But, yeah, we'll see. And so they could end up stealing a 1 seed. AFC North, I think, is just going to tear each other apart. It looks like they could. I don't know about the Steelers. The Ravens with Lamar look like the Ravens. Their defense is starting to get a little worse year after year. I don't think anybody's talking about it yet, but I think it could be a story at some point.
Top 3 teams will go 4. Let's see, what would that be? 4-2, because they'll all sweep the Steelers, and then they'll all split with each other.
Yeah, so I'm just saying there is the AFC North is probably the hardest division to predict. I wouldn't sit here and be shocked if the Browns won it. No,
their defense is nasty.
Yeah, Myles Garrett was toying with their 2 starting
did you see him doing the crossover
dribbling a basketball? Yeah. So, and then you've got the AFC East. Who knows? I think you probably have the Dolphins. Their defense is kind of sketchy, but they look like the 2018 Chiefs is what they look like. Yeah, they look like the 2018 Chiefs. So who knows with that? And then AFC South, that the Jags are winning. That's already done. And if the Jags win this week, they might as well clinch it and give them the AFC South champion hats week 2.
Although the Colts did look a lot better. Anthony Richardson looked a lot better than I expected, especially in week 1.
Yeah, he did. I've been one that I haven't been too high on him. Just because I did watch some Florida games last year. I don't understand why the combine raises some people so high, because he was a 3rd-round pick at best.
Well, his was pure athleticism. He had, I think it was the 9th highest athleticism score that the player profile uses. The 9th highest ever.
Yeah. So I'm not going to sit here and just be a hater, but when I watched him at Florida, I was like, I don't get it. I didn't understand why it looked like he was going to. I mean, they weren't even winning any games. So he did look a lot, but he looked better than he might have looked like the best rookie quarterback. But
yeah, Stroud was okay. Bryce, but I mean, Anthony Richardson's got a Josh Allen build. I mean, he's big. He's really big. Obviously he can run. He's a little more shifty than Josh. Josh will just lower his shoulder and run over whoever's in his way. and they can both chuck the ball a mile. So if he can hone it in and get to, a respectable completion percentage, I don't see why he can't be Josh Allen. Granted, that's a high ceiling, but I mean, Josh Allen is a top 5 quarterback in the league, but that's the kind of build he's got.
Yeah. And then just while we're talking about the state of the AFC, I want to talk about just the AFC West, my week 1 overreactions. I think it pretty much looks like it's gonna actually be like the Chiefs and Raiders all year. Chargers are already calling for Staley's head, and I think there's a chance he could get fired before the end of the year. I think that's an actual possibility.
See, I think the problem is the Dolphins are good. I mean, the Dolphins could easily be the 1 seed. If Tua stays healthy, that offense is just about as unstoppable as you can get. They'll get Ramsey back halfway through the year. I mean, that's not a bad loss.
I'm just saying, who do they play this week? I don't remember. If they get off to 0-2, it's gonna be pretty rough out there. There was already fans were really pissed last year after they gave up that huge lead in the playoffs.
Tennessee is on.
Yeah, there's a chance. Would you be shocked if they lost to Tennessee? No,
because they can't stop a nosebleed in the run game.
So that's all I'm saying. I think it could be the Chiefs and the Raiders, and with the Raiders playing a horrible schedule all year, they could maybe. I don't think that they'll challenge for the AFC West. I think they could maybe get a wild card spot. I'm not in love with Jimmy. I don't think he's going to play 17 games. He's going to get hurt at some point. But the thing that Jimmy has done his entire career is he wins games. He wins games. He just does. And I know wins aren't a QB stat, but they do mean something. So
I mean, it helps that he had like a top 3 defense the entire time he was in San Francisco in one of the best offensive environments that you could ever imagine.
Just saying, he's won.
But also, I think the Broncos are better. I think they should have won that game. They had multiple opportunities and just couldn't. I think the Raiders still suck. They're still the worst team in the division. I'll take Russell Wilson, even bad Russell Wilson.
What I have to say about that, though, is you could have won, but you didn't. That matters. Right. It's still a loss. Okay. You still didn't execute. What if they had a lot of games? They actually had a lot of games last year that they could have won.
So the Lions are better than the Chiefs? Because we could have won. We could have won. We probably should have
But we didn't. Yeah, we didn't.
That's my argument, is the Broncos could have and probably should have won, but they didn't. That doesn't mean they're worse.
Yeah, but I think it's hard to say that they're the second best in the AFC West.
Oh no, I think the Chargers are, just because that offense will win them games. I don't think the Broncos or the Raiders have a unit, maybe the Broncos defense, that will win the game.
Yeah, I just think that the Chargers defense is just so bad. They're either going to be a middling wild card team, or the train is just going to completely come off the tracks at some point.
I don't think there's any. I mean, what was the 17-16 was the final score of the Broncos Raiders game?
Yeah,
I don't think there's anything that. I mean, you look at that Raiders team. There's no. I mean, Josh Jacobs, but he had like 49 rushing yards. He was getting shut down. Devontae Adams, great, but Jimmy G is not going to throw for 300 yards a game and just lead an offense that scores 24 points a game, and that's what they're going to need because the defense is not good. The Broncos just aren't clicking right now. When they face a good offense, that's going to be bad because Jimmy G is not going to be able to keep up.
No matter how we put it, I don't think our division is. I don't think it's that good. I really don't think it's that good.
It's certainly not as good as they made it out to be last year. I think it could be better this year. What were the Chargers, 10-7 last year?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Wild card, played the Jags. I could see them going 10-7 again. Give or take a game, and then I think the Broncos will be better because they won 6 games or something.
I think 5 or 6.
I have a hard time believing Russ will be worse, and Sean Payton will get him a win or 2. I mean, I just don't see a world where, if the Chiefs are winning, 12, 13, whatever games, and the Chargers are winning 9, 10, 11 games, and the Broncos are winning 7, 8, 9 games, I don't see a world where the Raiders do the same.
Only time will tell.
Bingo.
I'm just saying they had Stidham through like 450 yards in a game last year for the same.
And Matt Flynn broke the Packers single game passing record, and then went and signed some giant contract with the Seahawks and sucked. One game means nothing.
He signed a huge contract there before they drafted Russ. I remember that.
Seattle must have been so desperate for
they were bad.
They saw him play one game and were like, yeah, that's our franchise quarterback.
Hey, Houston saw Brock Osweiler play 5 games and they gave him like the biggest deal in the NFL at the time.
Yeah, he's got the Broncos defense to thank for his contract. Gee.
Yeah, never have to worry. He played good for 5 games. I think he went like 3-2, and he got a huge deal. All right, moving on. Before we get to our week 2 preview here, Chris Jones ends holdout, where I was right and where you were wrong, or whatever. I don't care. Chris Jones will not be a Chief in 2024. This is his last year as a Chief. The entire holdout was stupid. Even if he hits all the incentives, which I looked at, he has to, in order to make $3 million more dollars, he has to win Defensive Player of the Year. We have to win the Super Bowl, and he has to be first team All-Pro in order to make all of his money back.
There's some smaller ones, but yeah, and
he gets $1 million for like 60% of the snaps.
$1 million for 35%, another $1 million for 50%, and then it's like 1.25 for first team All Pro. There's like $1 million for 10 sacks, another $1 million.
There's an and in there though too, so he gets $2 million if he wins Defensive Player of the Year and the Chiefs win the Super Bowl. Get to
the Defensive Player of the Year part. That's insane.
Oh, he doesn't out of the Super Bowl.
He doesn't play a valuable enough position. And he's not Aaron Donald.
Yeah. But you can't miss a game. I mean, he could have missed a sack and a half there. You never know.
It looks so bad now. Looking back and like what happened now that it's done, the Katz brothers should, if any player signs with the Katz brothers after this, they're blind or.
This was Chris Jones's year to go make his money. This was it.
Which is why he's like, okay, whatever, just give me some incentives and I'll come back. Because he knows, if either I get tagged and traded or don't get tagged or whatever, like I'm playing for next year. I'm not playing.
The biggest deal he's going to get, if he gets anything less than 15 sacks, the biggest he's going to get is $24 million a year. That's the biggest he's going to get.
Because the tag will still be like, I think it's like 32 and a half.
30. So yeah, but why would nobody would trade for him if we? I don't think that's. I don't know if it's a taggable. I don't know.
I don't know.
I think he looks like
cap works.
They look like clowns
we got, but I wouldn't mind tagging it. Like I didn't want to pay him that kind of money for 3 years. I wouldn't mind paying him that much money for 1 year. One last hurrah.
This year and next year or something, yeah.
Yeah. Like tagging next year.
Because
he's not going to get anywhere near $32.5 million. He'll be lucky.
He's not. I don't even think he's going to get near 30.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think this was his year to do it, and he just didn't. I mean, if you're all about the money, it seems like he's already got his ring, so you don't blame him for going for the money, but now he didn't even get that, and he's going to be 30 years old next offseason. There's nobody's going to sign him to a 3-year, $84 million contract. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, like we are his best chance of getting that money because, we know what he is in our system. We've had him for 7 years or whatever it is now. And
They
other
also
teams
have
are,
loads of cap room next year too.
and other teams are like, okay, well, yeah, he's great, but who knows? We run a different defense. We run a 3-4 instead of a 4-3. Who knows how to work? So I think we were his best chance at money, and it didn't happen.
Yeah, they really screwed the pooch. But he's back. Cool. It's good for us.
And he gets about a whole week to prepare. I still don't think he'll get a full workload, even if he was in game shape, or he says he's in game shape, like they always say they are. Every offseason, everyone's in the best shape of their life.
Yeah. And then week 1 happens and they're fucking tapping their helmet to come out. Yeah.
But I think he'll definitely get some run. He'll definitely get in there, especially on some third downs.
Yeah, they're going to throw him in there on second and short, third and short type. So, yeah, I can see that.
All right. I got 19% battery left, so let's boot, scoot, and boogie on.
All righty. So week 2 preview. All that I really got is I think the Chiefs just got to be in a business mindset. This isn't a game to go have fun. All that matters is that we win. I think there's a chance it's actually a pretty ugly game. I could see turnovers on both sides. Yeah.
Oh, you mean ugly, like actually ugly? I think it might be. I think there's a chance this is ugly in the Chiefs' favor. I think if Kelsey's healthy, which I haven't actually heard much about, which I'm guessing is a good thing.
He's supposed to have a workout today, so nothing came out about it, but he did have a workout per se.
If the defense actually is legit, holds the Jags to 20 points like they did the Lions, I think this offense with Kelsey, I think they're going to come out pissed off. Mahomes and Kelsey and Andy are just going to draw up some stuff you've never seen before. Tony's going to have 2 touchdowns. Sky's going to have 100 yards. I don't know if that's what's going to happen, but it wouldn't surprise me if we win by, 3 scores. But it wouldn't surprise me if, it's a game just like the playoff game where it's, it could go either way for 95% of the game.
Yeah, I don't know. I think there's a chance it's ugly. Just keep in mind, guys, these players remember the dirty ass hits from Cisco last year too. Somebody's going to blindside the shit out of him down the field, and there's going to be a flag for it, but it's going to happen at some point. Who knows if a ref sees it, but if I remember it, I know the players do.
I hope it's somebody catches a pass and is like running down the sideline, and Cisco's got the angle, which I don't know how it happened because he plays safety, but anyway, he's got the angle of pursuit going. And then we had a guy who ran a streak route, and he's coming across the field and just meets him right before he gets to the ball carrier.
Yeah, he got Juju twice in the head. Juju left the game. He got someone else. I don't remember who. He had 3 really nasty, dirty ass hits. So we'll see. I think it could be personal. It's also personal between the coaches too. Doug Peterson wants to win this game. Doug Peterson also drew up some absolutely insane shit against the Chargers in the playoffs last year. He absolutely unloaded the entire clip on them, and getting his second chance at the Chiefs, I think he could do that too. So I'm just saying, the way I see this game, you've got 2 really good playoff teams. The Jags are a definite contender. Usually when that happens, Chiefs, it's usually uglier type games, and the Chiefs, they usually don't come out on top on those against those AFC opponents.
Until it matters.
I hate to be the guy. I'm just saying, in the regular season, remember we called it the revenge tour because we played the Bills, we lost to the Bills, the Titans. The year we lost to everybody in the regular season that we beat in the playoffs, it's just what happens. I'm not predicting the Chiefs to lose, but would I be shocked? No. But yeah, my official prediction, I think I'm going to go I think I'm going to go like 24-17 Chiefs. Maybe not that close, though. I'm thinking Jags get a touchdown late to make it 24-17. This defense looks good. This defense looks awesome.
And I think what's huge is they don't have an Aiden Hutchinson. They don't have a defensive end who can just line up wherever he wants on the field and just wreck every time he's out there. They've got a good defensive line, but they don't.
They got Walker. Walker's pretty good.
Yeah, they don't have one singular guy. Like our 5 against their 4, straight up, I'll take ours. But Aiden Hutchinson was better than, maybe any single one lineman that we have besides Creed. But obviously that matchup's not going to happen.
I definitely look for a couple early flags on Taylor too. It's going to happen just because it was on national TV and he was doing what every tackle in the NFL does.
Yeah, there was so many pictures on Twitter of every lineman doing the same thing.
So, but the refs are going to make an example. There's going to be 2 5-yard penalties for illegal formation early in the game, and then it's going to be like, okay, you made your point, and then he's going to go back to doing the exact same shit. That's exactly what's going to happen. What's your prediction?
I'm relying on the offense. If Kelsey's right, I think they're going to come out ready to really just show everyone, like, hey, calm down. We're fine. I'm going 31-17. And if Kelsey isn't right, which I know is probably something we're not going to know until after the game, I'll knock it down to like 27.
So you are betting way over the spread.
I think we're going to come out pissed off. And may God have mercy on the Jaguars' soul for a pissed off Mahomes, a pissed off Andy, pissed off Travis Kelce, a Chris Jones who doesn't have, any wear and tear on him. Granted, maybe not, game speed ready, but he'll be out there. I think everyone, is this? I saw so many. Is this the end of the Chiefs as we know it? Yada yada yada. And they're gonna come out and just be like, "No, we're here and we're fine."
Yeah, hope you're right.
Yeah, me too.
All right, guys. We will see you next Tuesday.